We are living in the hum of an invisible machine, a constant, low-frequency vibration that permeates our mornings, our workspaces, and even the quietest corners of our homes. Have you ever paused to notice the sheer velocity of the life we have constructed? We wake to the digital chime of our devices, a sound that instantly demands our attention, pulling us out of the slow, natural rhythm of sleep and casting us directly into the current of 1,000 obligations. Before our feet even touch the floor, our minds are already running. We are calculating the hours, anticipating the friction of the day, and rehearsing the conversations we might have to endure. This is the baseline of our modern existential state of perpetual, low-grade alertness. As if we are constantly waiting for a signal that never arrives, or perhaps a disaster that we are desperately trying to outrun. We move through our environments not as participants in a dance, but as gears in a mechanism that feels increasingly indifferent to our humanity. Consider the texture of your afternoon. You are sitting at your desk, or perhaps moving through a crowded city street, and you become aware of a subtle, persistent tightening. It is not a dramatic pain, but a quiet, structural discomfort. It resides in the hinge of your jaw, which remains clenched even when you are not speaking. It is the subtle, shallow lift of your chest, as if you are trying to minimize your physical presence to save energy for the mental labor ahead. Your eyes are fixed on the glow of a screen or the blur of passing faces, and you realize that you have not taken a truly deep, unhurried breath in hours. We have become experts at this kind of endurance, treating our bodies as vessels that must simply hold up under the weight of our relentless mental output. We have normalized this tension, calling it productivity or focus, but if we were to stop, if we were to simply cease the movement for a moment, we would see that it is actually a form of deep, unacknowledged exhaustion. This state of being has a distinct, corrosive effect on our ability to witness our own lives. Because we are so deeply embedded in the stream of doing, we have lost the ability to simply be. We are like travelers on a train that is moving so fast the landscape outside has become nothing more than a blur of colors. We know we are moving, we know we are going somewhere, but we have no sense of the terrain. We have no sense of the beauty of the meadows we are passing, or the rugged honesty of the mountains we are crossing. We are preoccupied with the next stop, the next meeting, the next update, and in our preoccupation, we are missing the very life that is happening beneath our feet. We mistake the intensity of our distraction for the intensity of living. But in truth, we are sleepwalking. We are navigating our existence through a thick fog of reactivity, where every stimulus, an email, a notification, a shift in someone's tone of voice triggers an automatic, conditioned response. There is a profound, shared loneliness in this experience, a sense that even when we are surrounded by people, we are profoundly disconnected. We exist in a world that is hyper-connected yet fundamentally fragmented. We see this in the way we communicate, in truncated messages, in the immediate, often sharp judgments we pass on others, and in the way we curate our own experiences for an audience that we are terrified of disappointing. We are constantly seeking the validation of the digital void, a void that reflects back to us only the distorted image of who we think we should be. We have traded the messy, authentic, and often difficult reality of genuine connection for the shallow, predictable comfort of being understood by the machine. And yet, when the screens go dark and the room falls silent, we are left with the cold, uncomfortable truth. We have built a life that is very good at being busy, but very poor at being alive. What if this feeling of being stuck, this sense that we are constantly vibrating at a frequency that is just a little too high, is not a personal failure, but the natural consequence of our current landscape? We are biological organisms designed for cycles of rest and activity, for the slow maturation of seasons, and for the deep non-verbal connection of tribe. We are not designed to process the entirety of the world's information in real time. We are not designed to exist in a state of sustained adrenaline-fueled performance. When we try to live this way, we are essentially fighting against the architecture of our own being. We are forcing a river to flow uphill. And so we feel the friction, we feel the unease, we feel the persistent, nagging sense that we are missing something, that there must be a different way to experience our time on this earth. We look for answers in the same places that created the problem. We buy more books. We sign up for more courses. We try to optimize our routines, but the core of the unease remains, because we are trying to fix a misalignment of the soul with the tools of the ego. Let us consider for a moment the possibility that we have been looking in the wrong direction. We have been looking outward, trying to rearrange the external world, our jobs, our schedules, our relationship, so that they might finally provide us with the peace we crave. But what if the peace is not found in the arrangement of the objects, but in the quality of the eye that views them? What if the struggle is not with the world, but with the way we interpret the world? We are like an astronomer who has been looking through a telescope that is misaligned. Every star, every planet, every galaxy we see is distorted, not because the heavens are chaotic, but because our own instrument of perception is skewed. We have been staring through the lens of our conditioning, through the filters of our fears, and through the shadows of our past, and we have been mistaking the distortions for the truth. This then is our task. We must learn to clean the glass. We must learn to adjust the lens. We must move beyond the symptoms of our modern malaise and begin to look with an unwavering, compassionate, and surgical clarity at the very machinery of our own perception. We must look at why we cling to our stories of struggle, why we find a strange, addictive comfort in the intensity of our conflicts, and why we are so terrified to step out of the often painful reality we have meticulously constructed for ourselves. This is not a journey of adding more knowledge. It is a journey of subtraction. It is the work of clearing away the debris so that the natural, quiet, and profoundly resilient intelligence of the human spirit can finally breathe again. As we move forward, we will explore this terrain together. We will not offer you easy answers or temporary comforts, because those are just another form of distraction. Instead, we will look at the anatomy of our suffering. We will pull back the curtain on the way we interact with one another, the way we create conflict where none exists, and the way we use our own reactions to define our existence. We will learn to see the moments when we fire the second arrow, the moment when we choose to make a bad situation worse by clinging to our indignation, our resentment, and our need to be right. We will learn to observe the physical tension not as a sign of importance, but as a map of our own internal resistance. And in doing so, we will begin to develop a new way of being, a dynamic, neutral, and deeply authentic way of walking through the world that is no longer held hostage by the turbulence of the moment. This requires courage. It requires the willingness to sit with the discomfort of the present without rushing to fix it. It requires the humility to admit that perhaps, just perhaps, the way we have been seeing things is not the only way to see them, and most importantly, it requires the persistence to stay with the work, even when the mind wants to wander back to the familiar, well-trodden paths of the past. Are you ready to stop running? Are you ready to look, truly look, at the way you are living your life? Because that is the only way this journey can begin. It is the only way to move from the noise of the machine to the silence of the heart. Imagine the room you are in. Notice the air. Notice the way the light touches the surfaces around you. Notice the weight of your own body against the seat or the floor. All of this is here now, in this exact unfolding moment. The future you are so afraid of has not happened, yet it exists only in the simulations of your mind. The past you are so regretful of is over. It exists only in the archives of your memory. The only reality that you ever truly inhabit is this one. And yet, we are so rarely here. We are so rarely present. We are constantly vibrating in the spaces between seconds, forever reaching for what is next, forever avoiding what is now. What would happen if you allowed yourself to be here? What would happen if you allowed yourself to feel the tension, to acknowledge the unease, and to simply honestly say, "This is where I am"? There is a power in that admission. There is a radical transformative power in stopping the internal war and simply witnessing the battlefield. When you stop fighting the present, you realize that the present is not actually an enemy. The present is just life, unfolding exactly as it must, in all its complexity, its beauty, its fragility, and its profound, quiet, and inexorable truth. We are entering a space where the old stories no longer apply. We are leaving behind the definitions of good and bad, success and failure, winner and loser that have driven us to the brink of exhaustion. We are walking toward something else. We are walking toward the center. We are walking toward the stillness that exists underneath the roar. It is a place that you have never left, even if you have forgotten how to get there. It is the home of your own deepest nature. And as we continue, we will find our way back, step by step, breath by breath, thought by thought, until we are no longer visitors in our own lives, but the masters of our own presence. Feel the rhythm of your own heart. It has been beating for as long as you have existed, steady and uncomplaining, regardless of the noise of your mind or the demands of your day. It is the rhythm of your life. It is the rhythm of the universe, echoing within your own chest. When you align your awareness with that rhythm, the urgency of the world begins to soften, the sharp edges of your conflicts begin to dull, the frantic pace of your thoughts begins to settle into a slow, deliberate, and deeply resonant beat. This is the foundation. This is where we begin, not with a change in our circumstances, but with a change in our presence. As you sit with this, do not try to suppress the thoughts that rise. Do not try to block the emotions that stir. Just let them be. Let them move through the space of your awareness like clouds through the sky. You are the sky, you are the space, you are the witness, and you are the one who has decided, in this moment, to stop the struggle and to simply, clearly, see. This is the beginning of everything. This is the recognition that the stillness you seek is not something you have to find, it is something you have to allow. It is what remains when you stop adding your own internal noise to the reality of the world. It is the truth that has been waiting for you, underneath the static all along, and now you are ready to listen. We must now look deeper into the architecture of this hunger, specifically how it manifests within the physical container we inhabit. If the ecology of scarcity is the environment, then the body is the terrain upon which this scarcity is fought. Think of the modern human body as a structure designed for survival in an environment that no longer exists. We carry the biological hardware of ancestors who lived in constant vigilance, scanning the savannah for predators, yet we use this hardware to navigate the abstract threats of a digital, competitive, and hyper-accelerated world. When we experience the feeling of not having enough time, enough status, enough security, or biology does not distinguish between a saber-toothed tiger and a missed deadline. The reaction is the same. The sympathetic nervous system initiates a cascade of chemical responses intended to prepare us for fight or flight, yet we remain seated in our chairs, staring into the flickering glow of a screen. This is where the anatomy of restriction takes root. Notice the subtle, involuntary clenching that accompanies your daily life. It begins in the solar plexus, that bundle of nerves just beneath the ribs that acts as the control center for our emotional center of gravity. When we feel the pressure of the scarcity mindset, this area contracts, pulling inward as if to protect the core. This is why you feel a persistent, dull ache in the middle of your back, or why your breath, which should be a deep, rhythmic movement of the diaphragm, becomes shallow and confined to the upper chest. We are quite literally bracing ourselves against our own lives. We are perpetually tilted forward, leaning into the next moment, the next task, the next harvest, never allowing our heels to fully press into the earth. This chronic state of contraction is the signature of the perpetual harvester. It is a posture that suggests we are on the verge of being found out, of losing our place, of falling behind. Think of the executive sitting through a meeting, their jaw clamped tight enough to strain the masseter muscles, their teeth grinding in a rhythmic, silent protest. Think of the parent juggling 1,000 domestic demands, their shoulders pulled up toward their ears, the tendons in their neck tight as violin strings. This is not just physical discomfort. It is the physical manifestation of a narrative that says, if I relax, if I stop holding on, I will disappear. We believe that our grip is what keeps us relevant. We believe that if we release the tension, we will lose our edge, and if we lose our edge, we will be cast out of the ecology of success. But what if this tension is actually the very thing preventing us from seeing clearly? Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you squeeze your fingers together with all your might, you feel the tension in your hand, you feel the strain in your forearm, but you are not really touching the sand. You are only touching your own exertion. The scarcity mindset is exactly like this. We are so busy squeezing, so busy holding on, that we have lost the ability to experience the texture of the life we are living. We are in a constant state of defense against the very life that is meant to be our primary, nourishing context. We have become our own predators, stalking ourselves with the fear of inadequacy. Consider the archetype of the builder who has forgotten the purpose of the house. We build our identities with the urgency of someone preparing for an endless winter. We accumulate accolades, we stack up responsibilities, we curate our online personas, all in the belief that these things will provide a sanctuary against the perceived danger of not enough. But the house we are building is made of glass. It is brittle. It requires constant maintenance, constant polishing, constant validation to remain standing. And because it is made of glass, we are always worried about what might break it. We are always looking for the cracks. We live in fear of the external world, of the opinion of the neighbor, of the shift in the market, of the passing of time, because we have tethered our safety to things that are inherently fragile and impermanent. This creates a feedback loop of exhaustion. We feel the lack, so we grasp for more. The grasping creates a physical stress response, which drains our vitality. The drainage of our vitality makes us feel less capable, which in turn amplifies the feeling of lack. We are running on a treadmill that we have built ourselves, powered by the very fear that we are trying to escape. And the tragedy is that we are so identified with this process that we believe we are the treadmill. We have forgotten that we can simply step off. We have forgotten that we can stop the grasping. We have forgotten that the harvester is not our nature, it is a role we have adopted, a role that we have to resign from at any time. Think of how this manifests in our social interactions. We listen, not to understand, but to find where we fit in. We wait for our turn to speak so that we can assert our value, our knowledge, our position. We are always scanning for how we compare to the person across from us. Are they doing better? Are they doing worse? Are they a threat to my scarcity-governed world? This is not communication, this is a tactical engagement. We are not meeting human beings, we are meeting challenges to our ego structure. We are not sharing presence, we are defending our territory. This is the ecology of scarcity in its most destructive form, as it dissolves the possibility of genuine connection and replaces it with the cold, hard logic of competition. If we were to map the geography of this scarcity, we would see that it leaves no room for the unexpected, no room for the gentle, no room for the quiet. It requires a life that is highly regimented, highly predictable, and highly optimized. But life itself is none of these things. Life is a river. It is characterized by its wild, unpredictable, and rhythmic nature. By trying to force our lives into the narrow, straight-walled pipes of the scarcity mindset, we are fighting against the fundamental law of the universe, which is the law of flux. We are trying to stop the seasons from changing. We are trying to force the river to run uphill. And we wonder why we are so tired, why we are so frustrated, why we feel so disconnected from the beauty of the world. There is a somatic intelligence in the body that is trying to tell us this. It speaks in the language of fatigue, of recurring headaches, of digestive struggles, of the sudden, unexplained waves of anxiety that wash over us in the middle of a routine task. These are not merely problems to be managed. They are signals. They are the body's way of saying that the mind's narrative has become an act of violence against the biological self. We are ignoring these signals because the scarcity mindset tells us that to acknowledge them is to show weakness. We have been conditioned to push through, to ignore the pain, to override the intelligence of our own nervous system in the service of the harvest. We treat our bodies as if they were machines that we have rented, and we are driving them into the ground without ever stopping for maintenance. But look at the cost. We are sacrificing our capacity for wonder in the service of our capacity for survival. We are sacrificing our ability to love in the service of our ability to produce. We are sacrificing the richness of the present in the service of the emptiness of the future. Is this not a radical distortion of what it means to be alive? We are like someone who has been given a magnificent, ancient forest to live in. Yet we have spent our entire lives obsessing over the value of the timber we could cut from it. We have walked past the ancient oaks, the vibrant ferns, the bubbling streams, and the hidden life of the soil, all because we were too busy counting our potential profits. We have missed the forest entirely, and in doing so, we have lost the very sustenance that would have allowed us to thrive without having to harvest a single tree. What if we were to change the orientation? What if, instead of being the harvesters of the world, we were to become the stewards of our own presence? What if we were to treat the internal landscape with the same care and respect that a master gardener treats a prize-winning orchard? Imagine what would happen if, in the middle of that meeting, instead of clenching your jaw, you consciously dropped your shoulders and took one deep, unhurried breath into your belly. Imagine if, in the middle of a domestic conflict, instead of immediately constructing a defensive narrative, you paused to notice the raw energy of the emotion, allowing it to move through you like a cloud through the sky, without turning it into a story about who is right and who is wrong. This is the beginning of the surgery. This is the moment we start to cut away the layers of conditioning that keep us in the state of perpetual scarcity. It is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming more of who you already are. Before the scarcity mindset started to shape your identity, it is about recovering the spontaneity, the curiosity, and the depth of connection that are the natural birthright of the human spirit. It is about realizing that the harvest you were looking for was never external. It was always the richness of the soil itself. It was always the capacity to see, to feel, to hear, and to be present with the reality of this exact, unfolding moment. You may think that this would lead to a lack of ambition, that without the fear of scarcity, you would simply stop. But the opposite is true. When you are no longer driven by the fear of lack, you are free to act from a place of genuine, creative power. You are free to pursue the work that truly aligns with your nature, not because you need it to prove your worth, but because you love the expression of it. You are free to engage with others from a place of open-heartedness, not because you need them to validate you, but because you recognize the shared humanity in them. You are free to exist in the world as a source of light, rather than a consumer of it. This shift in orientation is a move from the ego's scarcity to the soul's abundance. The ego is the part of us that is always worried about the future, always comparing itself to others, always looking for the next thing to hold on to. It is the part of us that is essentially, fundamentally terrified, but the soul is the part of us that is already connected, already whole, and already at peace. It is the part of us that knows that life is a gift to be opened, not a resource to be exploited. And the work of the architect is to build a life that allows the soul to shine through the ego, to use the ego as a tool for expression rather than as the primary driver of the life. As we look at the symptoms of our modern malaise, we must be careful not to judge them. We must not turn our own suffering into another reason to feel inadequate. The fact that you are feeling this friction is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that you are awake enough to feel the discord. It is a sign that you are reaching the limits of a way of living that was never meant to sustain a human spirit. This is a moment of profound, necessary transition. It is the point where the harvester stops to look at the sunset, where the builder puts down the hammer to listen to the silence, where the person who was racing to the future finally arrives in the present. So, let us sit with this. Let us observe the tension in our bodies without wanting it to go away. Let us acknowledge the fear of not having enough without letting it dictate our actions. Let us witness the chatter of the mind as it tries to rationalize the fear and see it for what it is, a relic of a past that has no power over the present unless we grant it that power. We are the masters of our own house. We have the authority to decide which thoughts we will water and which thoughts we will allow to wither. We have the power to define our own ecology. We have the power to choose abundance, even when the world is screaming the opposite. Think of the way a tree grows. It does not exert effort to grow. It does not feel the lack of its future height while it is still a sapling. It simply, effortlessly, responds to the light, to the rain, and to the nutrients in the soil. It is in a constant state of growth, yet it is never in a hurry. It is entirely radiantly present in every stage of its unfolding. We are the same. We are not meant to be stressed, to be pressured, to be fragmented. We are meant to be a natural expression of the life that is moving through us. We are meant to be the tree, rooted in the earth, reaching for the sky, and completely, perfectly at home in the present. The path from the ecology of scarcity to the ecology of abundance is not a path of addition. You do not need to acquire more knowledge, more techniques, or more status. You need only to practice the art of letting go. Let go of the need to be perfect. Let go of the need to be recognized. Let go of the need to control the future. Let go of the belief that you are not enough exactly as you are. Each time you let go, you are creating space. You are clearing the weeds. You are softening the soil. And in that space, in that softened soil, the natural abundance of your own life will begin to sprout, independent of your effort, independent of your harvest, independent of your fear. You are entering a new phase of your existence, where the goal is no longer to be the person you think you should be, but to discover the person you actually are. It is a journey of discovery that is both terrifying and exhilarating. It is the journey of the one who realizes that they are not the contents of their lives, but the container of it. You are the space in which your life happens, and you are the one who has the final say in how that space is filled, or, more importantly, how it remains open, clear, and ready to receive whatever life offers in the next moment. If you are feeling the tightness in your chest, if you are feeling the weight of the expectations, if you are feeling the cold wind of scarcity, know that these are the labor pains of your own awakening. You are being born into a new way of seeing. You are moving from the world of the harvester to the world of the witness. And this is not a change that happens in a moment, but a commitment that is renewed with every breath. It is a commitment to the truth of your own experience. It is a commitment to the reality of the present. It is a commitment to the abundance that is already here, waiting for you to recognize it, waiting for you to embrace it, waiting for you to live it. The feeling of lack is a lie. The fear of the future is an illusion. The hunger for more is a trap. The truth is that you are already complete. You have everything you need to be fully alive, to be fully connected, to be fully present. You have the depth of your own awareness, the breath in your lungs, the beating of your heart, and the vast, unwritten potential of the next moment. Everything else is just the decoration. Everything else is just the costume of the actor. The real work is to realize that the actor is not the one who is alive. The life is the one who is acting through the actor. As you reflect on the anatomy of your own restriction, do not look for ways to force yourself to be different. Look for ways to soften. Look for ways to open. Look for ways to welcome the discomfort, the fear, and the uncertainty, and see them as the raw, unrefined energy of your own life. Do not try to polish the gold, let the gold shine through the dirt. Do not try to force the flower, let the light do the work. The transformation you are looking for is not something you achieve, it is something you allow. It is a surrender, a letting go, a return to the natural state of ease that was yours before you learned to be afraid. So, let us continue to examine this ecology. Let us continue to look at the patterns of our behavior, not with the intention of fixing them, but with the intention of understanding them. Let us look at the harvester, the builder, the performer, and the defender within us, and ask them what they are protecting. Let us see if their fear is still necessary, or if it is just a habit we have continued to feed long after the danger has passed. Let us be kind to ourselves in this process. Let us be patient with our own shadows. Let us trust that we have the wisdom to see the truth and the courage to act on it. The ecology is shifting, the soil is changing, and you are the one who is nurturing the growth. You are the one who is setting the conditions. You are the one who is choosing the abundance. And you are doing it now, in this breath, in this moment, in this silent, powerful, and deeply beautiful act of being alive. We have reached a point where the architecture of our suffering becomes visible, not as a collection of external misfortunes, but as a meticulously constructed labyrinth of our own design. To understand the threshold of radical forgiveness, we must move beyond the superficial desire to simply let go and confront the rigid internal ledger that we have been balancing for years. Imagine, if you will, a vast, ancient library deep within the subconscious. In this library there are thousands of scrolls, each detailing an interaction, a slight, a betrayal, or a moment of perceived injustice. We are the librarians, and we are obsessively dedicated to our work. We spend our waking hours rereading these scrolls, cataloging them, and ensuring that each one is cross-referenced with the others. We feel that if we close this library, if we turn our backs on these records, we are somehow betraying the truth of what we endured. But this is the fundamental error of our existence. We believe that by rereading the records of our pain, we are maintaining justice, when in fact, we are merely ensuring that the pain is never allowed to heal. The ledger is the ego's primary tool for survival. It tells us that as long as we hold on to the debt, we are in control. It tells us that as long as we keep the memory of the hurt sharp and clear, we are protected from being hurt in the same way again. But look at the cost. The act of holding on to this ledger keeps our nervous system in a constant state of low-grade, simmering resentment. It is like carrying a hot coal in our own hands, hoping to throw it at someone else. We are the ones being burned. The psychological weight of this unpaid debt is not just a burden on the mind, it is a weight on the very fabric of our vitality. It compresses the chest, it restricts the flow of our natural, spontaneous joy, and it creates a persistent, jagged edge in our interactions with the world. We are not living our own lives, we are living in the archives of our history, waiting for a restitution that can never come because the past, by definition, is gone. This is where we must apply the insight of the two arrows. When an event occurs, an unkind word, a broken promise, a moment of profound unfairness, this is the first arrow of reality. It is a natural, albeit painful, part of being a sentient social creature in a world that is not always aligned with our desires. It is the friction of existence. If we could feel this friction, acknowledge the sting, and then return to the present, the wound would heal with the natural, efficient grace of the body's own restorative processes. But we do not stop there. We fire the second arrow. We take the fact of what happened and we wrap it in a story of why me, or how could they, or I will never be the same again. We fire this second arrow into the exact same wound, over and over, every time we replay the event, every time we justify our anger, and every time we use our past to interpret our present. The first arrow is painful, but the second arrow is the true source of our chronic, festering agony. The work of radical forgiveness is the work of refusing to fire that second arrow. It is the practice of observing the raw, unadorned fact of the first arrow, the hurt, the sting, the reality of the offense, and then consciously choosing not to add the narrative, the judgment, or the catalogued ledger of grievances. This is not about condoning the offense. It is not about pretending that what happened was acceptable. It is about recognizing that your peace, your freedom, and your capacity to live a full and vibrant life are far more precious than the maintenance of your resentment. When you refuse to fire the second arrow, you are reclaiming your sovereignty. You are stepping out of the role of the victim and stepping into the role of the witness. You are acknowledging that while you cannot change the past, you have total, absolute control over whether that past continues to define the present. Consider the concept of the self as a fixed, permanent entity that has been harmed. This is the core illusion that fuels the ledger. We believe in an I that was the recipient of the offense, and we believe in a them who were the perpetrators of the offense. We build a rigid, permanent reality around these two entities. But the truth of our existence, as observed through the lens of deep presence, is that everything is in a state of constant, fluid transition. The you who was hurt 5 years ago is not the you who is reading these words now. Your cells have changed, your thoughts have changed, your perspectives have shifted. The offender has also been subjected to the unrelenting pressure of time and experience. They are not the same person who committed the act. By clinging to the ledger, you are trying to freeze a moment that has long since passed, trying to maintain a narrative of harm in a universe that has already moved on. You are creating a prison out of a memory. To break this prison, we must begin to see the blindness in the offense. This is the hardest, yet the most essential step of our transformation. When we hold on to resentment, we view the person who hurt us as a malicious force, a deliberate architect of our misery. But look at their actions with the eyes of the witness. What if their behavior was not a personal attack, but a manifestation of their own deep, unhealed, and unconscious suffering? What if they were acting out of a place of deep-seated insecurity, or a complete lack of awareness, or a profound disconnect from their own capacity for empathy? When we realize that the person who hurt us was likely operating from a place of profound confusion, that they were, in a sense, a victim of their own lack of consciousness, resentment begins to transform into something else. It begins to transform into a form of clarity. We see them not as a monster, but as a wounded, confused human being who, in their own blindness, caused harm. This does not mean you have to invite them back into your life, nor does it mean you have to agree with what they did. Forgiveness is not a social contract, it is an internal liberation. It is the act of dropping the heavy pack you have been carrying. Regardless of whether the other person ever apologizes or ever acknowledges the hurt. The ledger is a private document only. You can decide to burn it. When you decide that the ledger is no longer relevant, you are not doing them a favor, you are doing yourself a service. You are clearing the inner terrain. You are opening up the space in your heart, and you are returning to the work of being a whole, present, and creative human being. You are taking back the energy that was being wasted on the maintenance of your grievances. Think of the physical, visceral relief that comes with this realization. The resentment you have been holding is, in a somatic sense, a form of active, ongoing labor. You are working every day to keep that fire burning. You are feeding it with your thoughts. You are fanning it with your justifications. And you are guarding it with your ego. That is an exhausting 24-hour-a-day job. When you forgive, when you finally decide to walk away from the ledger, you are laying down the work. You are clocking out. You are ending the shift. Feel what that would mean for your physical body. Feel the shoulders drop. Feel the breath deepen, moving into the lower, quieter spaces of the lungs. Feel the tension in the jaw uncoil, allowing the muscles of the face to rest. This is not a theoretical state, it is a physiological necessity. Your body is screaming for this release, because it has been bearing the weight of your resentment for far too long. We must also confront the ego's resistance to this shift. The ego will tell you that forgiveness is dangerous. It will whisper that if you let go of your anger, you are becoming a doormat. It will suggest that if you forgive, you will lose the strength that you believe your pain has provided you. Do not be deceived by this voice. The ego confuses bitterness with strength. It believes that carrying a heavy weight makes you powerful, when in reality, it only makes you slow, brittle, and unable to respond to the beauty of the present. True strength is not the ability to hold on to a grudge. True strength is the ability to walk through the world with an open, unshielded heart, knowing that while you may be hurt again, your capacity for presence, for love, and for peace will always be the bedrock upon which you stand. As we continue to walk this path, let us practice the art of reframing. Whenever the old ledger begins to surface, whenever the memory of the slight bubbles up into your awareness, do not push it down, but look at it with the cool, clear light of the witness. Remind yourself, this happened. It was painful, it was wrong, but it is not happening now, and the person who did this was lost in their own darkness. By speaking these words, you are performing a surgical separation. You are separating the objective event from the subjective, addictive story of your victimhood. You are acknowledging the history, but you are refusing to let the history become the geography of your current existence. You are choosing to be the architect, not the archive. This practice, performed consistently, begins to rewire the nervous system. The triggers that once sent you into a spiral of rage or self-pity will become, with time, simple memories of a distant, less conscious version of yourself. You will find that you have a new capacity for intimacy because your heart is no longer guarded by a wall of resentment. You will find that your work is more creative because your energy is no longer being drained by the internal theater of your past. You will find that your relationships are more authentic because you are no longer projecting your history onto the people who are standing in front of you. You are becoming a person who lives in the light of the present rather than the shadow of the past. We are, in this very moment, performing the work of alchemy. We are taking the lead of our grievances and attempting to transmute it into the gold of wisdom. But alchemy is not a magic trick, it is a process of refinement. It requires the heat of discipline, the patience of observation, and the willingness to see the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. You will have days where the ledger calls to you with a siren song. You will have days where you feel justified in your anger, days where you feel that you deserve to keep the debt alive. In those moments, do not be angry at yourself for being human. Recognize the impulse, notice the pull, and return, with the gentle, firm resolve of the architect, to the present. Return to the sensation of your breath. Return to the feeling of the chair beneath you. Return to the simple, quiet, and miraculous fact that you are alive right now, and that you have the power to choose who you will be in this moment. You are not your past. You are the space that holds the memory of your past. And you are the one who decides what that memory means for the future. You are the architect of your own peace. You are the one who holds the pen. And as you put down the ledger, As you turn away from the library of grievances, you are beginning the most important construction project of your life. The building of a home for your true, unburdened and luminous self. There is a final, vital truth to be understood about this threshold. It is that radical forgiveness is not something you do to someone else. It is something you do for yourself. It is the ultimate act of self-love. It is the declaration that you are worthy of a life that is not colored by the darkness of your past. It is the declaration that your capacity for joy, for presence, and for connection is far too precious to be sacrificed on the altar of your own resentment. It is the declaration that you are, in every single breath, a work of art in progress, and that you refuse to let your masterpiece be defined by the shadows of those who were once in your path. As you sit in this understanding, let the silence settle in, let the words fall away, and allow the reality of this moment to wash over you. There is no debt to be settled. There is no ledger to be balanced. There is only the life that is here, waiting to be lived with the fullness of your attention and the openness of your heart. You are the witness. You are the architect. You are the one who has decided to walk into the future with your hands open, your eyes clear, and your spirit free. And in this freedom, you will find that you have everything you need to create the life you were always meant to live. This is the threshold. This is the place where the old way of living ends and the new way of living begins. You are ready, you have the insight, you have the practice, and you have the absolute sovereignty of your own mind. Now, you must simply take the step, not as someone who is carrying the weight of the past, but as someone who has finally, mercifully, and completely laid it down. You are standing in the light. You are breathing the air of a new day, and the world is open, waiting to be discovered, one present, conscious, and forgiven moment at a time. There is a sense of immense quiet and powerful relief in this act of setting down. It is like the relief of a long-distance traveler who has finally reached their destination and has stepped out of their heavy, protective gear. They feel the sun on their skin, the breeze in their hair, and the solidity of the earth beneath their feet. They are still the same person who made the journey, but they are no longer defined by the journey. They are defined by the place where they have arrived. This is the place where you are standing now. This is the destination of radical forgiveness. It is not a place you go to, it is the state of mind you allow to emerge when you stop holding on to the past. Everything that has happened to you, the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the broken, has brought you to this threshold. Do not regret a single moment of it, for it has all served to refine your awareness and to deepen your capacity for empathy. You are a repository of wisdom, a master of your own internal landscape, and a witness to the profound, persistent beauty of the human experience. You are ready to let go of the stories that keep you small, and you are ready to embrace the life that is waiting for you in the vast, open space of the present. You are the architect, and the building is just beginning. Look ahead. See the potential for joy, for connection, for deep and resonant meaning that exists in every encounter you will have from this day forward. See the people in your life not as the figures in your ledger, but as the travelers on their own, often difficult and equally precious paths. Offer them the gift of your presence, the grace of your forgiveness, and the warmth of your heart. You are the source of all these things. You are the one who makes the world brighter, one conscious moment at a time, and you are the one who finally knows what it means to be free. Let the silence of the room be the container for this new understanding. Let the stillness of your body be the proof of your resolve. You have done the work. You have performed the surgery. You have cleared the garden. And now you are ready to plant the seeds of your future. What will you plant? What will you create? What will you share with the world, now that you have cleared the space to do so? This is the question that defines the next chapter of your existence, and it is a question that you will answer, not with your words, but with the way you live your life, moment by moment, day by day, breath by breath. The ledger is closed, the future is yours, the present is your home, and you are finally, truly, and completely at peace. As we linger in this quiet, profound sense of release, remember that you are never truly done with the work of presence. It is a daily, moment-to-moment commitment to the truth of your own experience. It is a commitment to the clarity of your own mind, the compassion of your own heart, and the authenticity of your own actions. You are the master of this practice, and you are the one who benefits most from its mastery. You are the one who is being transformed, and you are the one who is doing the transforming. And in this, you are participating in the grand, unfolding, and deeply meaningful dance of human consciousness. You are part of something much larger than yourself, and yet, you are the center of your own universe. Live from this center, act from this clarity, love from this depth. You are the architect of your own destiny. And the foundation you have built, the foundation of radical forgiveness and unconditional presence is a foundation that will stand against the pressures of time, the changes of fortune, and the challenges of the human condition. You are secure, you are strong, you are free, and you are ready to walk into the world as a beacon of the clarity you have cultivated. The journey is far from over, but the path has never been clearer, and you have never been more equipped to walk it. Take this sense of peace with you into the next hour. Let it color your thoughts, let it influence your decisions, and let it soften your interactions. You are a different person than you were when we started this journey, and you are a different person than you will be tomorrow. You are a person in motion, a person in growth, a person in the process of becoming more of who you truly are. And that is the most beautiful, the most challenging, and the most rewarding project that any human being can ever undertake. You are the masterpiece, and the work continues, always. As you step out into the world, remember that the silence you have cultivated here is portable. You can carry it with you into the office, into the crowded street, into the difficult conversation, and into the solitude of your own evening. It is your anchor, it is your sanctuary, it is your truth. And whenever you feel the pull of the old ledger, whenever you feel the sting of the old arrows, remember that you have the power to stop, you have the power to breathe, you have the power to forgive, and you have the power to return to the present. You are the master of your own mind, and the light of your own awareness is the only guide you will ever truly need. Everything that has brought you here has been for the purpose of this moment. Everything that will follow will be for the purpose of deepening this insight. You are on the right path, you are doing the work, and you are in every possible way enough. You have the strength, the depth, and the capacity to live a life that is truly your own, a life of abundance, a life of forgiveness, and a life of profound, resonant peace. Walk forward with this knowledge, walk forward with this clarity. Walk forward with the full, unburdened weight of your own existence, and live the truth that you have discovered. There is nothing more to be said, for the words have done their work. The path is laid out, the tools are in your hands, and the journey is yours to take. Every breath you take from this moment forward is a step into the potential of your own life. Every thought you think is an opportunity to practice the clarity you have gained. Every action you perform is a chance to express the peace you have cultivated. You are the one you have been waiting for, and the time to live this life is now. Not later, not when the circumstances change, not when the ledger is settled, but now, in this exact unfolding and infinitely precious breath. The silence that now remains is yours. Let it be the space in which you live, the space in which you love, and the space in which you grow. You are the witness, and you are the architect, and the life you are building is a life of freedom. Go in peace, for you have earned the right to live it. You have earned the right to be free of the ledger. You have earned the right to be the light of your own existence. And you are, finally, fully and beautifully home. What will you do with this freedom? What will you create with this new space in your heart? How will you share this clarity with the world? These are the questions that will guide you, and these are the questions that you will answer with the way you inhabit the next chapter of your story. The possibilities are infinite, the potential is vast, and you are ready. Step forward into the light of the present and begin the work of being who you truly are. You are the one, and this is the time. Walk with the clarity of the sun, and the grace of the stream, and the steady, quiet strength of the mountain. You are ready, you are free, and you are here. Consider how the world looks when you have set down the heavy stones of your grievances. The colors seem brighter, the sounds seem clearer, and the people around you seem less like strangers and more like fellow travelers. You are more connected, more present, and more alive. You are finally participating in the life you were meant to live, rather than just observing it from the fortress of your own hurt. This is the reward of the journey. This is the truth of the threshold. And this is the beginning of the rest of your life. May this clarity stay with you. May this peace sustain you. And may this freedom lead you into a life of purpose, joy, and deep resonant connection. You are a light, and the world is waiting for you to shine. Keep walking, keep breathing, keep being the witness, keep being the architect. And remember always that you are the abundance you seek. You are the forgiveness you need. You are the peace you desire. And you are, in every single moment, the architect of your own becoming. The silence remains as it always has. In this silence you will find the answers to all your questions, the solutions to all your problems, and the depth of your own true nature. Do not be afraid of the silence. Embrace it. Let it speak to you. Let it guide you. And let it be the constant, steady background to the symphony of your own unfolding life. You are ready to live this truth. You are ready to be this light. You are ready to step into the world as a person who has finally, mercifully, and completely laid down the ledger of the past. Go then, go in peace, go in freedom, go in the light of the present moment, and live the life that is truly, deeply, and profoundly yours. There is one final thought to hold as you move into the quiet of your own space. It is the realization that your ability to forgive is not a sign of weakness, but the ultimate expression of your inner strength. It is the proof that you are no longer defined by the actions of others, but by the integrity of your own character and the depth of your own awareness. It is the mark of a person who has mastered the most difficult art of all, the art of being human in a world that is not always kind. You have mastered this art. You have become a teacher of your own potential, and you are now the keeper of your own peace. Carry this with you. Let it be the standard by which you measure your days, the compass by which you navigate your life, and the light by which you see the world. You are a vessel of clarity, a conduit of compassion, and a source of deep, resonant strength. You are the architect, and the building you have created is a sanctuary for your true, unburdened self. Be proud of the work you have done, for it is the most meaningful work a human being can do. Be proud of the freedom you have chosen, for it is the most precious gift a human being can give to themselves. Be proud of the person you have become, for you are a testament to the resilience, the potential, and the beautiful unfolding mystery of life itself. As you step away from these words, do not look for a final, static state of enlightenment. Look for the next moment. Look for the next opportunity to practice. Look for the next chance to choose the present over the past. The work is never truly done, and that is not a burden. That is the joy of the journey. It is the dance that continues, the song that unfolds, and the mystery that reveals itself, layer by layer, breath by breath, choice by choice. You are the dancer, you are the singer, and you are the listener, and the symphony is the music of your own existence, being composed in real time, in the ever-present, ever-living, and infinitely precious moment of now. Go, then, into the rest of your day, carrying the clarity of the threshold, the lightness of the unburdened heart, and the quiet, steady strength of your own true nature. The ledger is behind you, the path is before you, and you are walking it with the grace of one who has finally, truly, and completely come home to themselves. The journey was long, the work was deep, but the reward is the only thing that truly matters. The ability to live a life that is finally, authentically, and profoundly your own. You have arrived, and you are ready to begin. Everything is in order, the past is integrated, the present is clear, and the future is an open, uncharted, and beautiful possibility. You are the one who is holding the map, and you are the one who is walking the territory. Trust your intuition, trust your presence, trust the quiet, steady knowing that resides at the core of your being. You have found the threshold, you have stepped across it, and now you are living the life that is waiting for you. Walk with this confidence, act with this clarity, and live with this profound, resonant peace. You are the light, and you are ready, shine. We have established the framework of our architecture, and now we must inhabit it. You are the architect of your own internal climate, and the building project has moved from the clearing of the site, radical forgiveness, and the laying down of the leggerto, the structural integrity of your daily life. Practice is not an escape from reality, it is the most intense form of engagement with it. You are training the mind to recognize the difference between the actual event and the narrative of the event, and you are doing this through the physical, grounded reality of your own body. We begin with the breath, not as a technique to calm down, but as a tether to the present. The breath is the only process in the body that is both autonomous and subject to conscious control. It is the bridge between the unconscious, reactive self and the conscious, observant self. When you feel the familiar pull of the old scarcity, when you feel the constriction in your chest, or the racing of your mind toward a future you cannot control, you must return to this bridge. Take a moment now to observe the way your body sits. Notice the points of contact between your frame and the chair, the floor, the world. This grounding is the first step of your practice. It is a physical declaration that you are here, that you are present, and that you are not going anywhere. When you anchor your awareness in the sensation of gravity pulling you down, you are creating a stable foundation that the turbulence of the mind cannot easily shake. As you breathe, do not try to change the rhythm. Do not force the air to flow in a particular way. Just notice the inhale as it moves into the body and the exhale as it releases. Notice the brief, silent pause at the bottom of the breath, the threshold between the ending of one cycle and the beginning of another. That pause is the most important space in your life. It is the space where the reactivity ends and the choice begins. In that silent gap, you are truly free. This practice must become the baseline of your existence. You do not wait for the storm to arrive to check your anchor. You ensure the anchor is set every single day. In the morning, before the machines of your daily obligations demand your focus, take 5 minutes to simply exist. Sit with your own presence. Observe the thoughts as they arise, and watch them drift by like leaves on a stream. Do not judge them, do not classify them as good or bad, and do not follow them into their stories. Just watch them. Recognize that you are the stream, not the leaves. You are the space in which the thoughts appear and disappear. As you develop this ability to witness, you will find that the thoughts have less power over you. They are no longer the commands that dictate your actions. They are merely the weather that passes through your sky. You are the sky, vast and unmoved by the clouds, no matter how dark or heavy they may be. As you move through your day, you must bring this same quality of observation into your interactions. When you are in a meeting, when you are talking to a friend, when you are navigating the complexities of your work, maintain a portion of your awareness on the physical sensation of your own body. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice the tension if it begins to rise, And before you respond to a provocation, take that one conscious breath. That one breath is the difference between being a slave to your conditioning and being the architect of your own response. It is the tactical pause that allows you to shift from a place of defense to a place of wisdom. It is the moment where you decide that your peace is worth more than being right. This is the work of refinement. It is like the process of shaping glass, where the material must be held in the heat, turned, shaped, and then slowly cooled to ensure it does not shatter under the stress of its own cooling. Your daily practice is the heat. It is the discipline that keeps the mind malleable, preventing it from hardening into the rigid, brittle forms of the ego. You will encounter resistance. You will have days when you are tired, when you are frustrated, when you are tempted to return to the old ways of reacting because they feel familiar and safe. In those moments, do not be harsh with yourself. Acknowledge the resistance, observe the desire to revert, and remember that you are building something that is meant to last a lifetime. You are not building a temporary shelter, you are building a temple for your own awakened awareness. Think of your attention as a finite, precious currency. In a world that is designed to steal it from you, every moment that you direct your attention to the present is a revolutionary act. You are reclaiming your own sovereignty. When you choose to listen deeply to someone, rather than scanning your mind for a reply, you are performing an act of radical generosity. When you choose to do a task with your full presence, rather than rushing through it to get to the next thing, you are performing an act of profound respect for your own life. You are deciding that this moment right now is worthy of your absolute, undivided attention. And in doing so, you are finding that this moment is actually more than enough. It is full, it is rich, and it is entirely complete. The challenge, of course, is the siren song of the digital void, which promises us connection, but delivers only a fragmented sense-self. To manage this, you must set boundaries that are not about restriction, but about protection. You must curate your environment to support the clarity you are cultivating. If you find that certain inputs, certain news streams, certain social spaces, certain relationships consistently pull you back into the ecology of scarcity, you must limit your exposure to them. You are the curator of your own consciousness. You are the one who decides what enters your field of view. This is not about building walls to keep the world out. It is about building a garden where the seeds of your own peace can take root and grow. You cannot bloom if you are constantly being trampled by the demands of a world that does not have your well-being as its priority. Develop the skill of conscious transition. When you move from one task to another, when you move from work to home, when you move from a moment of activity to a moment of rest, take a deliberate physical action to mark the transition. Change your posture, wash your hands. Take a deep, intentional breath. Look out a window. Do something that says to your mind, that part is finished, this part is beginning. We rarely do this in the modern world. We drag the tension of the previous moment into the next, and we wonder why we never feel fully present. By consciously marking these transitions, you are training your mind to be agile, to let go of what is done, and to be fully available for what is here now. You are practicing the art of the clean slate. There is a powerful technique in this process that we can call the practice of the return. It is the realization that you will lose your way. You will get caught in the stories. You will get lost in the irritation. You will fall back into the old reactive patterns. This is not a failure, it is an essential part of the process. Every time you realize that you have wandered, you have achieved a moment of profound awakening. You have seen the habit, you have witnessed the drift, and you have chosen to return. The realization is the point of the practice. It is the moment of choice. So do not be angry when you lose your way. Smile, take a breath, and gently, with the patience of a gardener returning to a plant that has been neglected, bring your awareness back to the center. Return to the breath. return to the body, return to the present. As you cultivate this practice, you will begin to notice a shift in your internal landscape. The intensity of your emotional responses will begin to soften. The length of time you stay caught in a negative story will begin to shorten. The quality of your interactions will begin to deepen. You will find that you have a new capacity for empathy because you are no longer so focused on your own needs and defenses. You will find that you are more creative because your mind is no longer clogged with the noise of your own grievances. You will find that you are more resilient because you know that no matter what the world brings, you have the anchor of your own presence to hold you steady. This is the architecture of grounded presence. It is a structure built not of external materials, but of internal habits, intentional actions, and a commitment to the truth of the present moment. It is a structure that you must inhabit, maintain, and refine every single day. It is a living, breathing, and evolving thing. And as you continue to build it, you will find that the house you are creating is not a prison, but a temple. It is a place where you can be fully yourself, fully connected to the world, and fully at peace with the reality of your own existence. And that is the only home you will ever truly need. Reflect on the nature of your own discipline. Many of us associate discipline with punishment, with a harsh, external authority that forces us to do what we do not want to do. But in the context of the awakened life, discipline is the expression of your highest love for yourself. It is the promise that you make to your own future that you will not settle for the easy, the habitual, or the reactive. It is the unwavering commitment to the potential that resides within you. It is the act of nurturing your own capacity for freedom, not because you are forced to, but because you realize that this is the most worthy pursuit you can undertake. This is the discipline of the gardener, who knows that without the daily, patient care of the soil, the beauty of the bloom will never emerge. So, how do you handle the days when the garden seems overgrown, when the weeds of old patterns are rampant and the soil feels hard and dry? You do not try to fix it all at once. You do not try to harvest everything in a single day. You take one small plot, you clear one space, you offer one moment of gentle attention, you return to the breath, you perform the simple small act of being present, and you trust that this is enough. The cumulative effect of these small, consistent acts is immense. You are not just gardening, you are changing the composition of your own mind. You are shifting the balance of your own reality. You are, in the smallest and most profound of ways, becoming the architect of your own awakening. Consider the role of the physical body as an instructor. Your body never lies to you. Your mind can weave elaborate narratives. It can justify, it can rationalize, and it can deceive, but your body always tells the truth. The tightness in your jaw is a truth. The shallow breath is a truth. The restlessness in your legs is a truth. When you feel these sensations, you are receiving real-time data about your internal state. Do not ignore this data. Do not try to override it with more mental effort. Pause. Listen to the body. Ask it what it is feeling. Sometimes the body will tell you that you are stressed, other times it will tell you that you are hungry for connection, for rest, for movement, or for silence. When you honor the body's wisdom, you are aligning yourself with the reality of your being, and you are stepping out of the illusion of the mind. This practice of listening to the body is a form of deep, intuitive intelligence. It is the way we learn to regulate our own energy, to know when to push, when to pause, and when to let go. We have been conditioned to treat our bodies as tools, but they are our partners. They are the vehicle through which we experience the world, and if we do not care for the vehicle, the journey becomes impossible. Treat your body with the same reverence you would show a lifelong friend. Feed it well, move it often, allow it to rest, and listen to the subtle cues it provides. When you do this, you will find that your energy becomes more sustainable, your mind becomes clearer, and your ability to be present in the world becomes more potent. We must also explore the practice of intentional silence. In a world that is defined by the constant, relentless flow of information, silence is a radical, restorative, and necessary practice. It is not just the absence of sound, it is the presence of an open, uncluttered mind. Dedicate time each day to being in silence. Not just away from your devices, but away from the internal dialogue of the mind. Sit in a quiet place or walk in a natural setting and simply let the mind be. Let it empty. Let it rest. Do not try to direct it. Do not try to fill it. Do not try to produce anything. Just allow the silence to be the context for your experience. You will find that in this silence, the answers to your questions often emerge. The clarity you were seeking becomes apparent, and the peace you were looking for is found. This silence is the foundation of all true wisdom. It is the place where the insights are born. It is the space where the true self resides, underneath the layers of conditioning, identity, and ego. When you practice silence, you are essentially creating a space for your own soul to speak. You are clearing away the static so that the signal can be heard, and you will find that the signal is always one of presence, of connection, of abundance, and of peace. You are not discovering something new, you are remembering something that has always been yours, waiting in the silence for you to notice it. Finally, consider the practice of service as a way to integrate your awareness into the world. When you act for the benefit of others, you are practicing the virtue of non-attachment to your own ego-driven agendas. You are stepping out of the narrative of me and mine, and stepping into the reality of the shared, interconnected, and collective experience of life. This is the ultimate test of your grounded presence. Can you be helpful without needing to be recognized? Can you be kind without expecting a return? Can you be present for someone else's pain without needing to fix it or own it? When you can do these things, you are expressing the true freedom of the awakened heart. Service is not about losing yourself in the service of others. It is about finding yourself in the expression of your own natural capacity for connection. It is the realization that when you help another, you are helping yourself, because there is no fundamental separation between you and the other. This is the truth of the interdependent, flowing, and ever-changing reality of our existence. By acting from this truth, you are reinforcing the architecture of your own awakened mind, and you are participating in the creation of a more conscious, connected, and compassionate world. This is the final step of the practice, to take the peace you have cultivated and offer it as a gift to the world. As you reflect on these practice anchoring of the breath, the cultivation of presence, the curation of your environment, the conscious transition, the return to center, the listening to the body, the practice of silence, and the commitment to service, you are seeing the blueprint for a life that is deeply, authentically, and profoundly your own. You are not just following a set of instructions, you are building a temple. You are creating a life that is not based on the fragility of the external, but on the unshakable foundation of your own internal presence. And this, my friend, is the greatest work that you will ever undertake. You are the architect. The tools are in your hands. The materials are the moments of your own life, and the building is the structure of your own awakened consciousness. Every choice you make, every breath you take, every moment you spend in presence is a stone in the foundation. Make each stone strong. Make each stone clear. Make each stone a testament to the fact that you are here, you are awake, and you are living the life that is truly, deeply, and profoundly your own. You have the discipline, you have the wisdom, and you have the potential, and you are ready to build. Stay with this. Stay with the practice. Do not be discouraged by the challenges, for they are the tests that refine your strength. Do not be discouraged by the progress, for it is steady, subtle, and profound. You are changing, and the world you inhabit is changing with you. You are becoming a force of clarity, a beacon of peace, and an example of what it means to be a human being who is not defined by their past. but by the potential of their present. And that is the most powerful thing you can ever be. Take a moment to feel the weight of this responsibility and the joy of this opportunity. You are the architect. The blueprint is your own. The site is your own life. And the time is now. Every single second is a chance to build, to refine, to create, and to express the truth of your own being. Do not squander it. Do not let it be stolen by the noise. Claim it, own it, live it. And know that you are capable of building something that will last. Something that will support you through all the seasons of your life. And something that will be a gift to all those whose lives you touch. The architecture of your presence is the most important structure you will ever design. It is the house that you will live in for the rest of your days. Make it a house of clarity. Make it a house of compassion. Make it a house of peace. Make it a home for your true, unburdened, and luminous self. And know that in building this home, you are not just caring for yourself, you are contributing to the architecture of the human experience. You are an architect of the future, a builder of the new reality, and a pioneer of the human spirit. And that is a noble, necessary, and deeply beautiful work. We have spent time looking at the structural components, the daily habits, and the philosophical foundations. But remember that the beauty of a temple is not in the stones, but in the space within the stillness, the sanctuary that holds the light. Your practice is not about the effort, it is about the space you create. It is about the stillness you allow, the openness you cultivate, and the presence you maintain. It is about the light that shines through you when you are not busy building, defending, or performing. It is about the being, not the doing. And when you realize this, you will know that the temple is already complete, even as you continue to build it. Everything is here. Everything is available. The materials, the blueprint, the site, and the architect are all one, and they are all present in this very moment. You do not need to look further. You do not need to wait for a better time. You have everything you need to start, and you have everything you need to continue. The work is before you, the path is clear, and the potential is infinite. What will you build today? How will you inhabit your sanctuary? These are the questions that will define your journey, and these are the questions that you will answer with every choice you make, every breath you take, and every moment of presence you offer to the world. As you step into the rest of your life, do so with the confidence of the architect who knows the structure is sound. You have done the work, you have practiced the presence, and you have understood the truth. You are the witness, and you are the creator. And the life you are living is the greatest expression of the truth you have found. May this practice guide you, may this wisdom sustain you, and may this freedom define you. You are the architect, and your life is your masterpiece. Go then and live it. With clarity, with compassion, with courage, and with the unwavering, profound, and beautiful presence that is your true, original, and eternal nature. The silence that now remains is not an ending, but a new beginning. It is the space in which you will carry this practice into the world. It is the sanctuary you have built within yourself. The one that you can always return to, no matter how chaotic the world around you may become. You are carrying it with you. It is in the way you walk, in the way you listen, in the way you act, and in the way you love. It is the architecture of your own being, and you are the one who is inhabiting it, moment by moment, in the beautiful unfolding and ever-present now. Trust the process. Trust your own capacity for growth. Trust the truth that you have discovered. You are a work in progress, and the beauty of the work is in its constant, unfolding nature. You are the architect, and you are the building, and you are the space within the building. You are the whole, and the part, and the process, and the goal, and you are in every possible way enough. As we conclude this part of the journey, feel the stability of the foundation you have laid. Feel the readiness to move into the next phase of your existence, where the theory becomes practice, where the understanding becomes behavior, and where the potential becomes reality. You are ready, the time is now, the light is on, and the doors are open. Step forward with the grace of the architect and inhabit your sanctuary. Live your life from the center and watch as the beauty of your own being radiates into the world, touching, transforming, and illuminating everything it encounters. The architecture of presence is a lifelong commitment, a continuous process of alignment, and a persistent return to the source. It is the most rewarding, the most necessary, and the most meaningful commitment you can ever make. It is the commitment to your own freedom, to your own clarity, and to your own peace. And it is a commitment that you are making again and again with every breath. You have the discipline, you have the depth, you have the potential, and you are ready to be the architect of a life that is truly, authentically, and profoundly your own. Go. The world is waiting and you are here. Consider how the practice of presence will transform your most difficult relationships, your most challenging tasks, and your most persistent worries. You are not just changing your mind, you are changing the frequency at which you live your life. You are moving from a frequency of fear, scarcity, and reactivity to a frequency of clarity, abundance, and presence. And that shift in frequency will change everything. It will change the way you see the world, it will change the way the world responds to you, and it will change the very nature of your own experience. It is a fundamental, transformative, and irreversible shift, and you are the one who is making it happen, one moment, one choice, and one breath at a time. Stay with the practice. Keep the foundation strong. Keep the focus clear. Keep the heart open. You are a builder of a new reality, a pioneer of the human spirit, and a beacon of the clarity that the world so desperately needs. You are doing the work. You are becoming the change. And you are living the life that is truly, deeply, and profoundly your own. Every action, every word, and every thought is a brick in the temple of your presence. Build it with care, build it with love, and build it with the unwavering, profound, and beautiful commitment to the truth. The journey continues, but the destination is here. The arrival is in the present, the peace is in the practice, and the abundance is in the awareness. You are the architect, and you are the temple, and you are the light that shines within it. Everything is as it should be. Everything is present, and everything is waiting for you to live it. Step forward with the grace and the power of one who knows who they are, and inhabit the life you were always meant to live. You are ready, and you are home. As you reflect on the practice of your own architecture, remember that you are not building for a static future but for an unfolding present. You are building for the ability to remain present, open, and responsive, no matter what the next moment brings. You are building the capacity to hold the complexity of life with the simplicity of awareness. You are building the strength to stand in the truth and the softness to be moved by beauty. You are building a life that is resilient, a life that is rich, and a life that is authentically your own. You have all the tools you need, and the architect within you is already at work. Trust the process, trust the practice, and trust the truth of your own presence. You are moving into the world not as a victim of the forces around you, but as a creator of your own experience. You are moving with the clarity of a mountain lake, the grace of a mountain stream, and the steady, quiet strength of the mountain itself. You are moving with the awareness that you are the architect of your own becoming. You are moving with the joy of one who has found the truth and is living it, breath by breath, choice by choice, and moment by moment. You are ready to live, you are ready to be, you are ready to shine. The work is done for now, but the life is just beginning. Take the practice with you. Let it be the ground upon which you stand, the air that you breathe, and the light that you see by. You are the master of your own mind, the guardian of your own heart, and the architect of your own existence. Go forth with the strength and the clarity of this realization, and build the life that is truly yours. The world is your site, the moments are your materials, and you are the one who is creating the structure of your own awakening. Walk on, build on, live on, for you are the one you have been waiting for, and this is the time you were born to inhabit. Everything is in its place. The practice is established, the intent is clear, and the architect is ready. The temple is rising, one brick of awareness at a time. You are the builder, and the life you are constructing is a testament to the power of the human spirit, the wisdom of the truth, and the beauty of the present. Go into your life and live it with the fullness of your being, with the clarity of your awareness, and with the peace of your own unburdened heart. You are the architect of your own awakening, and you are doing the most important work that a human being can do. Be proud, be present, and be free. And remember, the work is the joy, and the journey is the destination. The final piece of the architecture is your own commitment to the unfolding mystery of your life. It is the recognition that the house you are building is not a cage, but a bridge to the vast, open, and interconnected reality of existence. It is a bridge that connects you to everyone you meet, to every challenge you face, and to the beautiful, persistent pulse of life itself. You are the one who is walking across this bridge, and you are the one who is building it as you go. You are the creator and the creation and the process of creation itself. And you are, in every single breath, the living, breathing, and radiating architecture of presence. Walk forward with this understanding and let it inform every choice you make, every word you speak, and every action you perform. You are the architect of your own life, and you are the master of your own presence. You are the light, you are the space, and you are the truth. And you are ready to live it. Everything is waiting for you. Step into the world and build the life that you were meant to live. You are the one. The time is now, and the architecture is your own. Go in peace and live in the light. The architecture is complete, yet the building never ends. You are the master of the process, and you are the beneficiary of the result. You are the architect of your own reality, and you are the witness to the beauty of its unfolding. You are the one who is fully, beautifully, and profoundly alive. And that, my friend, is the only thing that matters. Build on, live on, shine on. You are the light, and the world is waiting for your presence. Everything is in order. You are home. We have arrived at the shore of the final stillness, the place where the path we have walked together finally merges with the landscape of your own life. Standing here, we are not the same people who began this journey. We have shed the heavy, rusted armor of our previous convictions, the plates we forged from fear and the rivets we set with the hammer of our own resentment. We see now that this armor was never a shield, it was a cage, built to keep us safe from a world that was never truly trying to harm us. As we stand in this new, open clarity, we feel the immense, cool freedom of letting the weight drop away. We have shifted from being curators of a painful history to being the active, conscious participants in the unfolding mystery of the present. There is a profound sense of sovereignty in Thesa realization that, while we cannot command the weather of the world, we are the absolute, undisputed masters of our own internal climate. This state of being is not a distant peak to be conquered or a status to be maintained. It is a fundamental shift in perspective. It is the wisdom of realizing that you are the vast, unshakable space in which your entire life occurs. The joys, the sorrows, the triumphs, and the failures are all merely weather moving through your sky. You are the sky itself. Because you are the sky, you can never be damaged, you can never be diminished, and you can never be truly lost. You have discovered the one thing that the modern world cannot touch, the one thing that the scarcity mindset cannot reach, and the one thing that no amount of past hurt can ever truly extinguish: your own inherent, radiant, and indestructible nature. We see now why the teachers of old spoke of the potential of the human spirit as something infinite. We were conditioned to believe that our identity was a small, fragile thing, constantly in need of defense and external validation. That was the great collective illusion. Beneath that identity lies a reservoir of clarity as deep as the ocean and as bright as the morning sun. It is a capacity for love that does not depend on being loved back, a capacity for peace that does not depend on a peaceful world, and a capacity for truth that does not depend on the agreement of others. You have tasted this truth. Once tasted, you can never return to the delusion that you are only the story you told about yourself. Think of the legacy you now carry into the world. You are a person who has broken the cycle of the second arrow. You are a person who has laid down the ledger of unpaid debts. You are a person who has reclaimed the energy of your life and redirected it toward the creation of beauty, the cultivation of presence, and the genuine connection with others. You are a source of stability in an unstable world, a beacon of clarity in a fog of distraction, and a reminder to everyone you meet that it is possible to live without the burden of the past. Your life is no longer a reactive response to the world, it is an offering to it. And that offering, simple as it may be, is the most powerful influence you can ever exert. As you step forward, remember that you are a work in progress, and that the beauty of your life is not found in its perfection, but in its unfolding. There will be days when you forget. There will be moments when you feel the old habits trying to pull you back into the labyrinth of your own making. Do not be afraid. Do not judge yourself. Simply acknowledge the drift, return to the breath, and remember who you are. The path is always under your feet, and the peace is always within your reach. It is the most constant thing in your life, the only thing that never changes, the only thing you can truly trust. The horizon is open before you. The air is clear. The way is finally, mercifully, and completely your own. You have walked the path, and you have reached the threshold. But the journey does not end here. It simply begins a new phase, one where you are no longer walking in the dark, but in the light of your own awakened consciousness. You are the architect, and the life you are now going to live is the greatest, most authentic, and most profound creation you will ever design. As you turn to walk into the rest of your life, carrying this stillness in your bones and this clarity in your heart, I leave you with one final invitation to explore the depth of your own existence. If you knew with absolute and unwavering certainty that you were already whole, already complete, and already enough exactly as you are, what would you finally dare to do today?